see is this. Sasha Walpole. Let's take a look at her interview with Piers Morgan. It was a nice interview. I think there was very cool moments. At first time I heard this story, I have to say, I thought this was bogus. I think, I don't know, this doesn't sound quite right. But after watching her body language in that interview, I think, well, she's not only telling the truth, she's taking it very well. I'm a bit of spoiling it right now, but there's a lot that we can learn. I think there's a lot that we can learn from these 4 clips that I'm going to show you, starting with this one. Let's start with this.
When was the first moment that you knew that you were in this book?
When my friend sent me a screenshot of a comment via WhatsApp, and I was just sat on my sofa watching telly, and yeah, I kind of didn't quite know what to do about it.
Notice that she's a bit nervous about it, about how was the experience of knowing, of realizing that you were in the book, that you were mentioned? Because I don't think she expected that at all. We can assume, I'm going to assume right now that she's telling the truth, and she is the one from that story. I think by this point, there's no reason to say that otherwise, that she is the one. She is quite tense answering this. She shrugs a bit, her shoulders move just a tad. Her head is quite tense at the same time. Maybe she's tense for being there with Piers Morgan, the studio. That would be overwhelming. That could be, yeah, for everyone. I would be nervous at the same time in that same situation. She looks sincere. Her voice is cracking a bit, but I think her reaction is genuine, and her recollection of the reaction, that being baffled that, oh my God, he mentioned what happened between us at that point. And maybe she was, all these years, she had these hopes that it was not necessary to reveal anything about this. But I can understand to some extent. I've said, we have had this conversation here on the Royal Rogue, that why did she have to talk? Why didn't she stay in anonymity? And sometimes I understand that you have to be a bit more offensive. You have to be more proactive. Proactive is the word. And being proactive in the sense of taking matters into your own hands and, well, letting the world know about your story, your version of the story, because, well, Harry's version of the story sounded like a Mexican novella. It was a bit too, I don't know, over the top. In the sense of that Sasha's recollection on the Daily Mail had a lot of details, but at least it was more down to earth, not that, you know, that all that horse analogies. And by the way, that is about, I think that is the second clip. How did you react to the horse metaphor?
What did you feel when you heard this?
I don't really know. I can see the humour side of the horse, because obviously,
you were a groom at the time.
Yeah, I was a groom. Well, not at the time, but I was a groom. I'd left Highgrove by the time this had happened.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know. I could see the funny side to it. You know.
Notice here that we have her face much more relaxed. These clips are not consecutive one after another. They are chronologically, they are one after another, but there was some more conversation in between. In this case, you can see that she's almost not joking, but she's smiling much more, is amused, we can say, amused by the horse analogy. So at least we can say that she has a sense of humor. She's not she said, well, that's what Harry could come up with, or the ghostwriter could come up with. That's what we got so far. But you can see that her head movement, she's got her head not like in one place as we saw in the previous clip, but she's moving her head a bit more. She's tilting her head a bit towards Pierce. She's a bit more comfortable. She needed a bit of time just talking to him. Pierce has a very soothing voice that helps a lot. And I think that's why that amusing questions was letting her be a bit more relaxed. And you can see her in her demeanor, her head movements, that she was much more relaxed with this. Now, what happened next? Everyone has questions about what is the rationale, what is going through Harry's head, and what is the common sense in regards to having a private life. We have privacy that they also denied that. The Harkles also said that they never really wanted privacy. They wanted is control of the media. Who can control the media? I think nobody can control the media. According to Harry, the royal family can control the media, but at the same time, at the start of the book, Spare, he says that no, my family could never control what the media could do. So it's either way, one way or another. But no, it's not something that you can just control with a button. So those privacy claims, and then you spill all this on your book. I don't know. You wanted to have a private life. How does that make sense? And this is what Sasha says about this.
I mean, if you want to live a private life and you want to get out of the limelight and leave the royal family or whatever, to live your life as you want to live it, to then sell a book and go on Netflix is kind of going against what you're saying you want. I mean,
Again, it's interesting to see that she is, she is, I see your comments, I'm reading your comments. She is coming out as very classy. She's taking it with a pitch of humor. She allowed herself right now, notice that she is not like avoiding Pierce's eyes. It's like she's trying to reflect that how can I say this as not to be hurtful? You're saying something about privacy, but you're acting in a different way. And notice her body language is much more relaxed. It's still more relaxed in here. Talking to Pierce, it's like they were they are like two good friends talking about that. And it's the look in her eyes saying, make it make sense. This is what everybody, and I think this is the friend, Harry's friend. I think she's still Harry's friend, of course, but this is in the sense that this is Harry's friend talking. Harry, you have to make it make sense. You're saying one thing, but people are hating you because there's no other way to put this any other way, because you are not. I think I forgot the word. You are not being consequent. No, consequent. I think it's not the word. Congruent. You're not being congruent. What you think, what you express with your words and your actions. You have to be congruent so people can trust you. If you're not congruent, then forget about it. And she's talking as a friend. She's very diplomatic about this. I think she has a lot of class. And I'm glad to confirm that in the comments of Piers Morgan Uncensored on YouTube on this video, I think 98% or 99% of the people have positive comments about them. There are no negative comments. The only neutral comments and absolutely nothing hurtful. I scroll a lot to check, and it's refreshing to see how a person, in this case Sasha, can project with just 1 hour, just 1 hour, her true feelings about something that was, well, I think was not fair for her. I think that's what Pierce says at some point. And that is, of course, props to Piers Morgan. I do not agree with everything that Pierce says, but I have to, well, we have to give it to him that he has decades of experience interviewing people. And of course, he knows that making people feel comfortable is critical to a good interview. And this is what he excels at. And I think it was the right call. Maybe he doesn't make everybody feel comfortable, not in every interview. But notice there's that word that Harry used on the word was the inglorious episode. He called this inglorious, and I felt really bad about that. Something I don't think that's something that you have to say about any encounter or any meeting or any moment with a woman. Is very ungentlemanly, if that is a word. That is a word, ungentlemanly to say. And this was Sasha's reaction to that word.
I mean, inglorious. It's not really that glorious sleeping with someone in a field behind a pub. When
I don't know.
well, you know.
Have your moments.
Yeah, sometimes.
Would you agree it was inglorious then? Or?
You know, there is nothing glorious about being drunk and then copping off with one of your mates.
You can see that, yeah, her sense of humor is in full display here. She even has her doubts. Well, sometimes sometimes it can be nice. At the moment, it could have been nice. There are times for everything. I think Pierce was asked the question really nice too, and she felt comfortable, and that's why you have that, yeah, shining that smile. That smile is the one who that sells her story. She's authentic. She's genuine. She's got a great smile, genuine smile. She's taking this like a champ, very good, in a very humorous way, and that tells a lot of her maturity, which is not something that we can say about Harry or Meghan, not at all. This is great. This is why she got all this great great reaction on YouTube. And she even concedes that there's nothing glorious about being drunk and, well, shagging in a field. So she also concedes that. But she's, I think she comes out as very genuine and spot on her body language. Yeah, it's someone that you can trust, not like the Montecito duo. That is a totally different story. I would like to know, what do you think about it? She is real. Yeah. I think I have said too much, but you, Susan, you summed that up very well. She's real. That's something that is refreshing to see, something real these days. We see so many facades. We see so many tricks. We see so many these empty influencers that want to do things. I don't know. They want to have this mask all the time. It's refreshing to finally meet someone that it's not a persona in public and another person in private. Sometimes we need to have to wear masks. I talk about that on my locals community, by the way. Inglorious 5 minutes. Yeah, if they were inglorious, at least they were only 5 minutes. Sasha is nice. I hope her speaking about it does not affect her current marriage. It wish only happiness for her. I think she talked about this in the interview, and her husband has taken this pretty well. Maybe the husband also has a sense of humor, just like her, and a nice anecdote. But I think that's something that you eventually get over, not like Harry that holds 10,000 grudges everywhere. But